This is a Socialist News and Views special interview.
I'm Nick Schillingford coming to you from the Urban Cabin Studios in South Minneapolis with this special interview. Well, yeah, I mean, we can jump right in if we want. On Socialist News and Views, we let folks introduce themselves. Do you both just want to tell our audience who you are?
Sure. Why don't you go ahead first, Matt?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So my name is Matt Peter. I am state chair of the Wisconsin Labor Party.
Short and sweet.
Yep.
Rich?
I am Rich Palmer, and I am apparently now officially the Minnesota chair of the Labor Party. That was kind of up in the air for a while. We had a couple other people that were up in the cities that were they had a little bit more time than I do, but they decided to step away, and so here I am.
Yep, it sounds good. So I met Matt. I met you first through a mutual friend. We went and grabbed some breakfast at the High Low Diner, which was pretty good. I hadn't been there in a while. That wasn't too long ago. That's actually, just at the end of my road in South Minneapolis, pretty much. Do you want to just kind of let listeners know, what we discussed specifically about, like the Wisconsin Labor Party, how it came to form, how you got involved, and where the party's at now, what you guys are focused on right now in Wisconsin?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. So we met for that tasty ass breakfast. High-Low Diner rules. That place is great. And yeah, I don't know. We had like almost a 2 hour sit down, eat, chat sort of situation.
Yeah.
And yeah, so with the Wisconsin Labor Party, so I got hooked up with the Labor Party some point early last year.
Okay.
I saw a TikTok video. Someone was trying to start a new political party across the country, and I was like, "Fuck it, hey, I'm in." Just kind of after the last presidential election, the disenfranchisement of the two-party system is just at an all-time high. I was feeling it. I was starting to see other people feeling it. So instead of just talking about doing something, I wanted to actually participate and help move that needle a little bit more. So from there, I just kind of slowly but surely got a little bit more involved until they asked me to officially chair the Wisconsin party. So the Labor Party is a national political party, and after we did the work to get the national party up and running and get everything situated, administratively, now the goal with the national party is to start breaking to state chapters. So again, I was asked to do the state chapter for Wisconsin, and since then, we've been busting our asses, just making connections, building coalitions, unifying the working class. That's really the goal. So the spiel I give about the Wisconsin Labor Party is that there's a new way that we need to operate in the political world. Just relying on big name donors and focusing almost solely on financial aspects of politics is killing us. It's literally killing us. So I tell people that, well, with the Wisconsin Labor Party, what we're trying to do is we're trying to operate at this intersection of politics and community, meaning that we all as a working class need to kind of unify under a single umbrella, and then we can start to get to work to try to solve these issues. So when we do that in our own communities, we're going to start to realize, those of us that are, sort of new to community organizing and activism, we're starting to find out that issues that are rooted in our community, some of those issues can be solved with community resources, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we just need to gather people, and we need to really identify what those issues are and then brainstorm how to solve them. But the reality is that a lot of those issues were kind of handcuffed by legislation. So that's where the politics part comes in. So we build strong communities, and then if we have issues that need to get solved at a higher level, well, we have that sort of, opportunity to escalate those issues up to the state level. Um, so that's the spiel with the Wisconsin Labor Party. And right now, what we're doing is we're just kind of going around the state doing meet and greets and trying to build out county chapters. And we have so far we've got a good chunk of Northeast Wisconsin covered. So for you, those of you outside of the state of Wisconsin, I live in the peninsula, so the most beautiful part of Wisconsin. And we've got kind of like the shoreline, the Lake Michigan shoreline, and then kind of like the Bay of Green Bay. We've got that section of the state. We've got 5 different counties already signed up county chairs. And little by little, we're again doing meet and greets around the state, starting to meet new people and build coalitions.
So just quick, where did the Labor Party start? Or did you find it online? Did you come up with it online, or did you come in contact with somebody in person, or how did that happen? I guess because I wasn't familiar with it until I heard about it through you. So that's why I'm like, how are people coming across this?
Yeah. We're definitely in the building phase for sure. It was a TikTok video where one of
Oh,
the
nice.
one of the people that started the party put out like a, hey, I agree that we all need to do something different. We're gonna try it. Join this Discord and we can just start having a conversation. So from there just grew to where we are right
where were
now.
they based? Are they in the
They were
Midwest, or
based out of Washington State,
Washington
I
State?
believe,
Okay, cool.
initially. Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, and so Rich, we haven't met in person before. I was just trying to remember. You're in Mankato, but you're the one, on the show now, and you said you're officially the state chair for Minnesota Labor Party. I guess even newer than the Wisconsin Labor Party. Tell us more a bit of how you came to be in the Minnesota Labor Party, and where we're at in the process in Minnesota here of forming or formalizing the party at the moment.
Sure. So I would say I'm probably just as about the same time frame as
okay.
Matt, as far as when I got hooked up with the Labor Party. Same deal. Eric Wolf is one of the like founding members.
Sure.
I believe he currently lives in Iowa, but at this time I believe he's either in Colorado or Washington when I saw his TikTok. However, he had a TikTok video. It resonated with me. Tired of the two-party system, tired of being not represented by our representatives, et cetera, et cetera. And so I joined the Discord early on. I have a little bit of experience with Discord, so I offered to be like one of the moderators for the Discord at the time. We've kind of moved away from the Discord. It still exists, and we still use it to start conversations. But with all of the security things that have been going on with Discord, as far as like people getting a hold of credentials and things like that, doing chaotic things, we've kind of moved away from that and moved more towards like text message conversations and group chats and things like that. That being said, as far as where Minnesota is currently, we're still in the building phase of like filling out the paperwork so that we can be recognized, etc. We do have to have a certain number of signatures, and I don't have that number right off the top of my head. I apologize. Sure. But we are still working with the Secretary of State to get recognized as an actual party. And then once we're recognized as a party, we can go about getting on ballot access and stuff like that. I know down here in Mankato, I've only been here about a year and a half because we moved up here from Iowa, the Hawkeye hat. But we moved up here from Iowa to get partially, honestly, to get away from the negative political landscape that is Iowa at this point in time. It's pretty brutal. And so when we moved up here, I kind of felt a little bit of a need to step in and start helping kind of do things a little bit. And so with everything that's been going on here in Minnesota, like it's been, different to to take on these roles. I know down here in Mankato for the longest time, everybody was talking about how bad it was in the cities, which by no means am I trying to detract from that. But what we were experiencing down here was almost as bad.
I believe it.
People just being ripped out of their homes. People, um, we had one guy that literally not far from here, they got ripped out of his home in his underwear in the middle of the winter. That was ridiculous.
It
So,
is, yeah.
getting involved with the groups locally who are going and filming at the ICE agents. To be realistic, they're not really agents, but filming them as they're doing these things so that we actually have proof of what they're doing and things like that.
Yep.
We definitely saw once we started organizing down here in this area, we definitely saw a decrease in activity, or at least a decrease in visible activity, just because they didn't want to be filmed anymore. And so that's definitely been a help. Like I said, we're still pretty much in our infancy right now. We are nowhere near as organized as Matt has gotten the Wisconsin party to be. It just feels like it's hard to get out there into the realm of things. I feel like,
Right.
especially in Mankato area, because Mankato's area is mostly rural, even though it is a city and it's a college town and everything. But outside of the city and even in the neighborhoods around the city, it seems like it's very right leaning, unfortunately. So it's kind of harder to get out there and get people to recognize us. So I'm trying to take some pages out of Matt's book and figure out how to get some of these coalitions built, but it just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I think even in like more conservative places, I think labor can be a good word. Not a bad word, not a dirty, not like socialism or something like that. But I mean, labor definitely has a more solid, broad appeal.
I will say that has opened more conversations than it has closed. When I specifically say, hey, I'm part of the Labor Party. A lot of people be like, what is that? And I just explain. I'm not gonna lie to you. Me and Matt hung out prior to you guys meeting. It was very easy to steal some of his stuff, because that intersection of community and politics is absolutely a solid statement.
Exactly.
Because politics is supposed to work for us as a community. And so if it's not working, then the community needs to step up and take care of it. And that's kind of what we've been doing down here without necessarily any, directive, with, the food deliveries to at-risk families, the constitutional observer stuff that we're doing with watching these patients when they were doing what they were doing, and those types of things. That's community stepping up and taking care of its own, even though it's not necessarily politically motivated. And so having those people involved and trying to get those conversations started is where I'm at right now.
I was just gonna say, so I know I was looking at the national website, or the votelabor.org website. I was gonna say something that was really awesome. It works really good on the mobile version. It looks like the what we fight for thing does not show up as well on the desktop version.
Oh,
I'm just noticing.
That's too bad. Yeah, they just revamped it, and you're right. It does look really good on
It
mobile.
looks really good on mobile, and it does not look good on the desktop version. They can fix that. But yeah, on the mobile, I really liked how it would have like the different things that you guys are fighting for, like around healthcare and stuff. And then it has like the little your healthcare thing, and then it kind of rises up, and then it covers up the previous thing, and it says, your, I don't remember. That's the thing. I don't remember. I have to pull up the mobile version. I don't remember what all the things are, but it was really good. It comes up, and then it has the next piece. So that works really good for the mobile. So if they can fix that for the desktop, that'll work really good. But yeah, something you guys are still working on the website. But it looks like it's coming together.
Yeah, our technical secretary is great. I mean, he's a website developing wizard, and he's done such a good job in the past. So yeah,
you can do a lot with websites now. Yeah,
I know, it's crazy. I have no idea where to start on that. But yeah, you're right. So the national party page is great. It's laid out really well. We'll let them know that the desktop version's not working so well. But the really cool thing about the way that this party is structured is that, of course, the national party has its own platform, because the goal is national politics, right? But then when we break into our state chapters, we have to adopt a very similar, if not, almost identical set of bylaws just to
Mm,
keep, procedural things standardized across all the states. But when it comes to things like party platform, we have complete control over, what we want to do. So that's really, really important because, of course, every state is different, and even different areas within each state
right.
um, can be really, really different when it comes to approach to politics. So, um, we spent a few months from the end of 25 into 2026 here with the Wisconsin Labor Party to do things like set the bylaws and set the charter, and then we developed our own party platform, which again will be posted on online somewhere at some point. Um, but the way that our party platform is structured is it's broken into 10 chapters, and each one is a thing that we believe that every person has a right to.
Mm,
So, we've got things like we believe everyone has a right to a job, a union, housing, food and clean water, a livable planet. So the attempt was to make it really direct, easy to digest. But then when you start to tease everything out, it ends up being like a 40 some page
I know.
document, which
Yeah.
makes it a little less, digestible. But it's the whole goal behind this party is to again is to unify the working class. And
Right.
the best way to do that is to give us the flexibility on the state and local level to be able to push forward the things that are going to help the working class in our own neighborhoods.
Yeah. So I know it says all 50 states on there. I got two of you here right now. What are there other do you have any insight into what's going on in other states? Like what are there states that are just getting up and running now and trying to move on the Labor Party? Are there states that you really don't have a lot of people in that you'd really be looking for people, or are there places you'd like, specific cities or whatever you'd like to have more context? Do you know any of that stuff? And what do you have you made contact with any of the other states around? I mean, we got Wisconsin, Minnesota. What's going on in the other states? Do you know any of that stuff?
Well, yeah, I'll start by saying that the Midwest definitely has the strongest showing for this, and it makes
Okay.
sense to me, just considering our labor history in the Midwest.
Oh yeah.
Um, so Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois is looking to start some things up. Um,
Yeah.
Colorado, for as much as you want to include that in the Midwest,
Sure.
they've got a presence as well. Some other states like South Carolina is making a really big push. They've got a very active party, and they're looking to register their party and get ballot access here pretty quick. And then, things like Georgia was up and running, and they're looking for new leadership. And again, it's just all kind of like this growing pains part right
Mm-hmm.
now where, um, we aren't doing any fundraising. We're doing organizing,
Mm-hmm.
and that takes
Yeah.
time.
A lot of work.
And I'm lucky enough because I own my own business that I have some flexibility to be able to do things like come talk to Nick on a Tuesday afternoon, or meet up Rich in Minnesota, so in the middle of the
Yep.
week to give out care packages to protesters. Um, but it's a big ask to chair a state party, even if you have the flexibility to do it however you want. So there are some barriers to entry with that. But the ask right now is just if you're interested, just sign up to be a member at members.votelabor.org. And that's where it starts, because if we can start to come together, then
Mm-hmm.
we can branch into each other's networks and we can find people that will organize in those areas.
Or there aren't any states where they're like starting to talk about actually running a candidate or anything like that right now? Is there or are there those discussions starting to take place? Do you know?
So I think right now, I think South Carolina might be the closest to
Okay.
that realm.
Okay.
I would say because they're helping to host larger events like
Yeah.
No Kings protests and things like that. They're there and they're being asked to speak. The chair is being asked to speak during the time there and stuff like that. So I think they're probably one of the closest. I think Matt with Wisconsin is in that conversation as well.
Nice.
I don't necessarily know that we have anybody that we're necessarily like, hey, we're gonna put this person forward as a candidate right now, but we are, in a couple of different states, we're very far down that road to
Mhm.
where we can maybe make that happen, hopefully in the next couple of election cycles. Minnesota, we're not quite there yet. Unfortunately, a lot of people are too tied into the two-party system.
Mhm.
They hear third party and they immediately go, "Well, you can't win because you're third party." So we need some cases where people actually recognize that, hey, this is possible. That we could hand people and say, see, that we can do this, and let's go, and go from there. So I think that the two states that are doing the best right now, in my opinion, are South Carolina and Wisconsin. I think we've got several others that are in that pipeline as well. So.
Oh, that's super. That's super cool. I worked on the Cornell West campaign for the Justice for All party in the last election, and that was interesting just because I was seeing all the different hoops and stuff you have to jump through, which I knew a little bit about, but like getting the signatures, and there was some talk about forming an official party and having a chair and a party committee or I forget what you call it. But so it's a process. So it's not gonna come together right away. But it seems like you guys are realizing that it's gonna be a process. Oh, and welcome to Minnesota, by the way, Rich. I didn't say that before. So you see, you're getting right into the mix of it right away. So that's good. Contributing to the state right away. So we're glad to have you. And I think the Labor Party is a super, there's been a few attempts to have a Labor Party before, with unions and stuff like at the beginning, but that doesn't seem to be kind of how it's coming together now. And that probably might be better that way because it will actually happen. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. That's what I think. Cause I mean, with some of the other attempts, there was just like too much infighting about different things. So the idea that there's not already like multiple structured organizations trying to come together to like form it, I think potentially lends it some the ability. Well, there's so many organizations popping up, working class and student-led organizations. I'm discovering a new org like every day because everybody's pretty dissatisfied with the way that things are going. So I was super excited to hear about the Labor Party, and I really appreciate both of you coming on. Yeah, go ahead, Rich. It looks like you got something else to say.
Oh, I was just going to say that it seems like in general, it seems like this is a really pivotal time in our country because there's the disenfranchisement of the two-party system has never been higher ever,
Right.
and in the history of our political systems, and there's a lot of people that, for lack of a better way of explaining it, are waking up and recognizing that this is not how our world is supposed to be. This is not what we're supposed to be waking up to every single day. And for a lot of people, you would hope that they could take a look at what's going on in the day-to-day world right now.
Right.
And, us losing so many allies, us losing all of the credibility that we've built up over the last 200 some odd years. It just seems like we're just not getting it. And you would hope that more people would be willing to take a step forward rather than two more steps back. And I think that, this is the time frame in which we have an opportunity to really make something happen. And I just hope that, we can get more people to be interested in politics to the point of actually making a change. I think that's one of the problems that we run into is that we don't have people that are willing to say, well, yeah, this is uncomfortable, but I can't do anything about it.
Right.
I think we need the people that are going to be like, well, yeah, this is uncomfortable and I'm tired of it. Let's make a change.
No, yeah, it's true. And you were talking about the two-party system. Well, I had somebody on previously who's pretty involved in the left wing of the DFL here in Minnesota. And they were saying it really isn't even a two-party system. If you look at the way that everything's divided across this country between the states and everything, it's really two separate one-party systems that basically, somewhere like Minneapolis, the Democrats dominate basically entirely. So, they're the dominant party. And in other parts of the country, the Republicans are the dominant party. And really, very few places is it actually a two-party system. Even it's really just a series of separated one-party systems. And it's not working for most regular people. I mean, and I think things are going to become even more unaffordable in the near future. I was just reading about the percent of farmers that aren't going to be getting as much fertilizer, and so aren't going to be
It's
growing as much
crazy. It's
food.
scary.
It's off the charts, and nobody even really realizes that yet, or most people don't seem to. So things are going to be getting even more painful in the near future. So it's good to have this vehicle in existence because, yeah, the picking the right moments is key to
Yes.
rolling this stuff out. And so yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of potential. I think you're going to have a lot of potential moments in the near future. So if you are getting candidates rolled out in a couple places in the not too distant future, I think there's a lot of good potential there. So um
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
One other thing I'll just say about that is it's one thing to notice and identify your disenfranchisement, and it's another to like have a place to land, right?
Right.
So that's what this coalition building is all about, right? It's to the Labor Party is here to, do the things that we already talked about, but it's also to give people an off ramp
Right.
from the D's and the R's, right? Because if a lifelong Republican is like, oh man, this is a little too fascisty for me,
Right.
their alternative is, they're not going to all of a sudden start, typically, they're not going to
Typically.
start exploring what the Democrats have to
Right.
offer, right? Because it's just that is so entrenched. And to be able to give an opportunity for people to acknowledge that they're not on board with what's happening in politics right now, and then to say, "Well, come here. We're trying to gather everybody together to talk about to talk about the future that we want, and then how do we build that together." And I think that that's just a very inviting. That's just an inviting way to bring people into the fold, and I think that it's the way that politics should operate, and I really do think it's the way that politics is going to have to operate as we move forward. And then, just quickly about the running politicians, running candidates. We're focused on grassroots first, so
Oh, that's good.
we haven't run anyone officially as a Labor Party candidate in this last election, although there are plenty of people in Northeast Wisconsin that we could very easily give an endorsement to. So even if we're eyeing up 2028 as the election cycle to have ballot access and run Labor Party candidates starting locally in
Sure.
different communities. So that's why we're starting county chapters so that we can actually have that vehicle for people to run as Labor Party candidates in their local areas. But even if that doesn't happen, we can still endorse other candidates. Our preference and our goal is to operate outside of the two-party system to
Right.
make sure that we're making gains where it's important, where it's necessary, and then also understanding that we're not going to be able to, in a short amount of time, have this infrastructure built and be able to do our stuff. So, there's always endorsing candidates and running independent candidates, and again with an endorsement. So there's lots of opportunity, and like I said, the 2028 cycle is what we in Wisconsin are really aiming for.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the funding piece from before. Yeah, if anybody does get sick of the Democrats or get sick of the Republicans and they go look at the other major party, I mean, it's funded by essentially a good chunk of the same exact people. I mean, like crypto, for example, cryptocurrency was big in this last election, and so that's why they were both talking about crypto, which definitely I don't think was definitely not the top issue most people were thinking about. So but yeah, like you make the point. Yeah, they're getting supported by a lot of the same companies, a lot of the same individuals, a lot of the same super rich individuals and PACs and uh, 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 military contractors and all that stuff. Well, I really appreciate you both speaking with me. Is there anything else that you guys want to share before you go? And then do you want to just remind folks how they can find the Labor Party?
Yeah, so I think that, we've had a pretty good conversation here to start things off. And I hope
Yeah.
that your listeners or your watchers,
All
whichever,
of the above.
are able to, feel a little bit of like, what's the word I'm looking for here? hope, I guess, that we can, make something happen outside of the two-party system. That is our goal, is to bring about change for the working class, not for Republicans, not for Democrats, not for any specific party, for the working class. That is what we are. We are the Labor Party. The vast majority of Americans would fall under that terminology. Yeah, sure, you've got people that run billion-dollar corporations and things like that. That's not who we're here for. We're here for the average Joe and Jane that is just trying to make things work, and try and maybe bring about that American dream, even though for a lot of people it seems like that American dream is gone. Our goal is to bring about change at the grassroots level, from the community based level, and move forward with that. So with that being said, go to votelabor.org, click on join the fight, enter your information, and your state chapter will be in contact with you as soon as they can.
Awesome.
Yeah, or indicate that you're interested in getting involved somehow. I mean, all it takes is just a conversation to find out whether it's something that you have capacity for or not. So if it's something that you're like, maybe I could start getting things going, just sign up to become a member. Indicate that if you're in a state that already has representation, reach out. So for me specifically, my email is wisconsin@votelabor.org. If you're in the state of Wisconsin, yeah, reach out to me, and I'm looking for people all over the state to get activated. The other thing on the votelabor.org website are these cool Labor Party shirts, which are cool
Yeah.
enough, but then the backs are even better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
And it's
perfect.
so that's right. So if you want to walk around town and show solidarity with your other working class brothers and sisters, get yourself a Labor Party shirt.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, everybody should get one. I really appreciate the chance to speak with both of you, and good luck with everything. And I hope that people are able to find the site and get signed up with y'all.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Nick. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, take care. Have a good day.
Later.
See ya.
See ya. And that was our special interview. Thanks for listening. Solidarity.
This has been a Socialist News and Views special interview.